Hello again, and welcome independent living students to the Health and Wellness presentation lecture. Please make sure that you are following along as well as answering the embedded questions that go along with the presentation lecture as we go through the content, as we will be introducing it here in this presentation lecture, and then going through some guided practice as well as independent practice activities to put these concepts into practice. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So, a question that we may have to ask ourselves, and maybe we have already asked ourselves, is what does it mean to be healthy? What would you yourself consider a healthy person to be like? How would they act? What would they do on a regular basis? How would they maintain this healthy way of living? Well, there are a number of different ways to determine whether or not we feel healthy. And there are also a number of different tactics or order of events that we can take part in order to become healthy individuals. So let's first define what health is. What is health? The condition of being sound in body, mind, or spirit, especially freedom from physical disease or pain. So notice here that in this definition, that health really only is part of a physical, health only has part of a physical element. There are other elements involved in our own personal health. Yes, physical is part of it, but there's also mind and spirit, which are going to contribute to our overall health. So how do all three of those different elements and factors work together to build a healthy individual? We'll be talking about that as well here in the near future, next couple of class periods. So when we define health, a lot of times wellness is something that is associated with health. So if we take a look at health and wellness, we first define health. Now, what is wellness? So how would you define wellness? If you think about this for a second, before we move on to the next slide here, think about what you would consider as wellness. How would you as an individual achieve wellness? Well, in order for us to understand how to achieve wellness, let's first define it. Wellness is the quality or state of being in good health, especially as an active, sought goal, lifestyles that promote. So if we take a look at the diagram on the right, you'll see the 8 dimensions of wellness, and you'll see a very, very close resemblance to the sources of strength. So the sources of strength activities that we do in Fox Time are going to also somewhat tie into this health and wellness concept, specifically our own wellness as an individual from that healthy elements of mind, body, spirit. So when it comes to health, we can break it down into 5 different areas. Physical, that is our body, that is our physical overall appearance, our physical health, our exercising, the development of our bodies over the course of time in order to have a physical, healthy body. Mental, intellectual growth and development. This is why you go to school. This is why you might have thirst for knowledge. This is why you read, because you have that intellectual growth development known as the mental that you want to develop, that you have urges to develop. And those are the activities that would help develop that. Emotional, feelings, growth, and development. This is impacted by our upbringing and some of our influences, parents, teachers, coaches, possibly our religion, church, youth groups, as well as our overall daily life experiences are all going to have impacts on how our emotional aspect of our health develops. Social. Now these are interactions, growth, and development. So now when we are interacting with other individuals in a social setting, whether or not it's a friend, a professional, a school setting, how are we interacting with these individuals, and our development is properly interacting with these individuals. There is spiritual. This is your sense of self, contentment, beliefs. You might hear some people talk about going off on retreats in an attempt to try and find themselves. Well, this is a tactic that is used to help and achieve that spiritual area of health. and try and find peace with who you are as an individual and what you believe. And then there's your environmental, your sense of your surroundings. You are not the only individual living in this world. There are others who are living in this world and sharing this world with you. So the sense of your surroundings and being able to not only know what your surroundings are, but being able to apply other areas of health within them. So a sense of surroundings is also going to have an impact on your social interactions, on your spiritual sense of self, your emotional feelings, your mental and intellectual growth, as well as your physical body growth and development. All of those are going to be tied together. All right, in class, we are going to be doing a round table activity, so I'm going to preview it here. Each table will be given an area of health to brainstorm, any of those 5 areas in the previous slide. Your task will be to create a list of examples within the area of health that you are assigned. Then one person at a time will write down an example, then pass the paper to the person on the right. That person then writes down an example, and we continue passing until no more answers are able to be added to the piece of paper. Pretty simple round table activity in order to get us thinking and applying these health concepts. So that is what we will do in the upcoming class periods to help understand these concepts and put them into practice. So please make sure that you review the presentation lecture if needed to answer the embedded questions. And I will see you next time we meet in class.